If you've ever found yourself going through a major life transition, whether you're going into a new job or leaving your old job, stepping into a new relationship, leaving an old relationship, moving to a new country, whatever it looks like, you know that it can be a space and an opportunity for so much change to take your life to the next level, but it can be equally confusing and challenging to navigate. Especially if, like most people, you're missing this one thing that I'll share with you throughout this podcast episode that most people miss, and it's what holds them back from fully navigating big life transitions with mastery, where they arrive on the other side looking into a life that feels like their dream life rather than repeating cycles, or arriving on the other side of change or a transition feeling like you just went back 2 steps. So in this podcast episode, we're gonna go deep. I'm here in a place that's very special to me, which is home, Ferreira. We're traveling this year, but for a very short period of time, we get to be here before we move at some point. And I really have this topic in my heart, and there are 4 key things that I'm going to share with you that happen for most people linearly. So step 1 happens first, and then 2, 3, and 4, in order to fully navigate whatever it is that you might be going through your life that feels like a huge life transition. And they're very simple, and especially the last one is very, very easy to miss, and it's the one that's the biggest game changer. So we'll get to step 4. Well, let's begin with step 1. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people making when they're going through these major life transitions is they try to move on to the next thing too quickly. So the easiest metaphor I've ever found my entire life to describe what this is, what this feels like, is if you pause right now, just for a second, and take a big, deep inhale, and keep going and keep inhaling and just keep trying to inhale more and more and more. At some point, you're going to cap it. Whenever there's a major life transition, we think that the movement that we need to do in life is to bring in the next thing. But there's a movement, there's an expression, there's something that needs to happen in our life first, which metaphorically, again with the breath, is the exhale, is the letting go. Step 1 is creating a beautiful blank canvas for yourself. And there's no way for me to know what that looks like for you. Sometimes it's even hard to know for ourselves, so it requires a little bit of time, maybe some time in nature. Sometimes it requires weeks or months. It doesn't really matter. It's not about the timing, but it's about recognizing what are the things that are currently present in your life, or that have been present for many, many years, that are just not going to walk with you into the next stage. Like, you're just not going to bring them in. And there's nothing wrong. They might have served you up to a point, but right now it's just time to let them go. Even if you don't know what the next thing is, most of us can get enough clarity on what it is that's present right now that needs to be let go of to create space. Our lungs can't inhale more air until we've exhaled. Our life can't welcome in the new until we've let go of whatever it is that no longer serves. And this tends to hold a lot of people back. I find that this is where a lot of the inner work happens, because it can be scary to let go, especially of the things that we've gotten very accustomed to, very used to. And it's precisely in that letting go of something that has been familiar, that's where the growth happens. Because in order to step into a new stage of our life, in order to navigate these major transitions, what needs to happen is we need to become a new version of ourselves. That's what life is calling us into. It's a metamorphosis. Like a butterfly goes into the cocoon as a larvae, comes out as a butterfly. It's a different being. Like you morph into this completely new version of yourself, hopefully, if you're growing, which if you're watching this podcast, you're on that path of growth. And so it is to be expected that things are going to change. And so it's this letting go piece that I find a lot of people get stuck in, but that's where the juice is. That's really what kicks off the entire process. and creates space for what's next, which is what can often be very challenging for people too. For me personally, it's my favorite part of big life transitions, which is walking into a space of unknown and uncertainty. That's part two. Your life, the quality of your life, the awesomeness of your life will never exceed your ability to handle and be with uncertainty. The more comfortable you are with not knowing what's next, with not knowing how to do things, with figuring it out as you go and growing as you go, instead of having to have it all figured out to go, the more comfortable you are in that space of uncertainty, the more magic you can call into your life. Metaphorically, in your breath, what happens is as we exhale, there's a pause, even if just for a second, before we take an inhale. This space of uncertainty, most people can relate to in, for example, if you want to change jobs or careers. That happens to a lot of people. Like you let go of the old job. For a lot of people, there's a period of trying to figure out what's next. Again, if it's a major life transition, if it's just not like, oh, you're moving on, like you already have it all figured out, that's not what we're talking about in this episode. What we're talking about is huge life transitions. Moving into a new country, new relationship, new work, new career, whatever it is. For most of us, there's that period of just not knowing what's next, or having some missing steps, or having 90%, 80% of the picture figured out, and then those last 10 to 20% that we really wish we knew, and we really want to have it figured out, but we don't always. And the magic here, and just like in step one, the secret is to actually lean into the letting go instead of trying to fill up and have it all figured out. The key in step two is actually similar, is to lean into the uncertainty and to not try to resolve things before it's time for them to resolve. The easiest way I've ever heard to understand this is imagine you're in the kitchen, you're baking this most beautiful masterpiece of a cake, and it's supposed, like you've done all the steps, and the cake is supposed to cook for 30 minutes, and you pull it out after 10 minutes. Things need time. In life, there are certain, when we are going through major life transitions, there are certain things that need time to cook. You plant a seed on the ground, you need to let it, you need to water it and nurture it and all the things, and then you need to allow time for it to bloom. So that's step two, is to really surrender to that period of uncertainty if it comes for you, and to just let whatever needs to be develop, so that in the third piece, whatever it is that you're calling forward can really bloom. And the third piece is, again, one of my favorites, and it's creating a compelling vision. Once you start having clarity, like in that period of uncertainty, it might come as intuitions, or you watch a podcast episode that inspires you, or you have a conversation with a friend that, lights something up for you, or you are just on a walk in nature and a breakthrough comes of an idea of something, like a spark of something. Once those come, to start compiling them into a compelling vision of what you want to create in life. Most people live an entire life in a passive state of just being taken on a current. And we forget to live from a space of creation. What is it? If you could create anything, if you have your blank canvas, you have all the colors that you might want to create the most beautiful masterpiece that you want, what would you create? Getting really crystal clear on that vision is so important, because we move towards it. Whatever vision we have for our life, we move towards it with all our being, consciously and unconsciously. So check this out. So if you don't have a clear vision, you're moving consciously and unconsciously into lack of clarity, which is what most people feel at this third stage, lack of clarity, because there's no vision. And a vision is not going to show up out of nowhere if you don't create it. So step three is, for me, I like to just do notes on my phone real quick. You can journal, you can create vision boards, whatever works for you. There are 1,000 methods, they all work. It doesn't really matter, whatever lights you up. It's to to make a vision of what you want to create and live and experience in your life that lights your soul on fire, that makes you wake up in the morning excited about it. And I don't mean this in like this unrealistic, utopic, vision of life where everything is perfect. No, like just like a sincere excitement, like an authentic desire and passion for what you're moving towards in life. That is huge. That is the difference between like trying to move towards what you want to create in life and like pushing through obstacles and like navigating versus just being pulled towards it. Not without growth and tension and challenge, because that's part of life, but what if it could be done with ease because you're pulled towards something that's so compelling to you that it's authentic, it's sincere. So once these three pieces are in place, and often they happen in sequence, but they might not. And here's another key, is that often you cycle through them a couple of times. You cycled through them a couple of times. And the reason why most people get stuck in this cycle is because they're missing piece number 4. And although my favorite place to be in is the space of uncertainty, step number 2, the most important step of this whole situation is the 4th one. And this is what most people miss. This is even people in personal growth in the space, they miss this all the time. And it's a game changer. Once I started implementing this step in my life, game changer completely. I call it integration. You can call it whatever you want. The metaphoric understanding of it is everyone in sports performance knows that the gains don't happen in the gym while you're lifting the weight. The growth, the expansion, the improvement of your physical fitness and performance doesn't happen on the training session. It happens when you sleep. It happens in recovery. The stimulus happens in the activity. So you're creating the vision, you're taking the changes in your life, but it's all going to be like dust floating up in the air unless you let it settle. And the way to let it settle is through integration. So I'm going to break down exactly what integration is. You best believe I'm going to talk about breathwork as one of the most powerful integration tools I've ever come across, because it's just I wouldn't talk about it if I didn't use it in my life, and I use it in my life and it's producing extraordinary results, so I'd love to share. But there are 1,000 others. There are infinite tools, and I'm sure at least one of them is going to resonate with you. And I'm going to give you some tools of what to look for and how to implement it in your life. So it's very simple conceptually. What happens is our nervous system think about it as like 2 sides, and both are needed to create change in your life. Think about it, part of our nervous system is designed to generate activity, to generate like an increase of activity. And the other part of our nervous system is designed to decrease activity. It's like some people call it rest and digest, or sympathetic, parasympathetic, doesn't really matter. Activity increase, activity decrease. And we need both. So again, activity increase metaphorically is like you go to the gym, like you work out, you kill it at the gym, you're feeling amazing. Activity decrease is you get a really good night of sleep at night, and you nurture your body with incredible nutrition, and maybe you do some stretching or some sauna or some cold plunging for recovery. So here's the key. The reason why most people get stuck in the process of moving towards their dream life, and even if they're doing steps 1, 2, and 3, is because just like our body, if we only do activity, if we only strain our body again and again and again, and we never give it the recovery it needs, what's happening essentially is, imagining you're starting at this level of physical performance or quality of life, whatever it is, you increase activity to up-level your quality of life, right? Or to improve your fitness performance at the gym. You increase activity. If you don't recover, what's going to happen is over time, you're coming back. You increase activity at the gym and you come back. Worst case scenario, what happens with most people is you increase activity and you keep increasing activity. You never recover. You keep increasing activity, and all of a sudden you burn out and you go below your starting point. This is where people get injured or fatigued or burnt out or stressed or overwhelmed. Again, I'm using the physical activity as a metaphor that I hope is easy to understand, but it works the same for our physical body as it does for our nervous system. A great example, again, is when people get burnt out. Like if all we do is output, 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 like at work or in our life, and we never recover, we get burnt out. Like it's such an easy concept to understand. The key thing is what to do about it. So what to do about it for our nervous system, breathwork is a great way to understand, is we need to let our body settle, relax. So walking in nature could be a great solution to just like be in stillness, go for a nice hike, not too intense, but just like whatever works for you. Just like go for a nice hike, gentle movement, like working out could actually be a great way to integrate. Recovery, whatever, like a sauna or cold plunge, getting great sleep, getting good nutrition, all these things will complement whatever changes you're wanting to create in your life. And I know this sounds insane. How does doing all these things increase my ability to manifest my dream life? Because you're activating the part of your nervous system that helps you take whatever it is that you want to create in your life that's out there, outside of your comfort zone, and bring it in. If your nervous system has like a bandwidth of what's comfortable, of what's familiar, and you use the part of your nervous system that generates activity to expand your reality, to go from what you're comfortable and used to in your career, for example, into new realms of possibility, things that you're passionate about, things that you're excited about, whatever is coming next for you, stepping into that vision, step 3, if you use the part of your nervous system that generates activity to expand that, and you don't allow your system to relax into that expansion, it's just going to contract back. So all these things are really, really important to help you make progress faster. And using all 4 in conjunction with each other can really accelerate your progress. And if this is something that resonates with you, I created a free video where I share with you in like my favorite tool that you can use in less than 5 minutes to regulate your nervous system and go from being burnt out, overwhelmed, frustrated, feeling like you can't really make progress towards your dream life, to start building momentum in the right direction, of how to start using breathwork and somatic tools to support you with that. And I'd love to share that with you. It's completely free. You can click the first link in the description to get access to it. It's my gift to you. I'd love to offer it to you, and I'd love to know how it lands for you, how it benefits you. And I trust that this podcast episode was valuable. It's been a joy to share these things with you. I'll see you on the next one. And if you like this podcast and if it resonates with you, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and YouTube thinks you're going to like this video right here. So why not click it? And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.